Welcome to the Stacked Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
We are back with another episode of the Stacked Podcast. Once again, we're going to be going over some of the biggest stories shared on the website this week. It was like every other week. It was filled with plenty of excitement, plenty of innovation, plenty of creativity. So we're just going to run through some of the biggest stories we shared. We've also got two interviews to go into a bit more detail on some of those stories from Ronnie Coleman and the protein snack company Protein. To start everything off, we're just going to touch on with Halo Top, who actually kind of announced two developments this week. For those of you who are fans of the protein ice cream company, massive protein ice cream company, they've basically added just a whole bunch of new flavors, some of which are not entirely new, but new in terms of being permanent. First up, they've added 3 flavors to the dairy-free ice cream that they have that's made with coconut milk. Those flavors are peanut butter and jelly, chocolate hazelnut, and mint fudge cookie. The other new developments from the company are that it's made 3 limited edition flavors permanent. These were 3 that were dropped last year, and so they've just decided to make them permanent options for the regular Halo Top ice cream. They include peaches and cream, blueberry crumble, and the more recent one of the 3, peanut butter and jelly. Moving on, we're really excited about this one. If you remember on last week's show, we mentioned that Dedicated Nutrition is launching 3 updated supplements for 2019. Initially, it didn't confirm what those supplements were. It kind of just had 3 silhouettes teased. Eventually, the brand announced one of them, saying that it was going to be a reformulated version of its daily muscle builder Epic. And we now know what the other 2 are. Unfortunately, one of the ones is actually the product we were really excited the brand was going to be doing. Basically, Dedicated Nutrition has announced that on top of Epic, it is also launching a new version of its pump formula, Vasogrow, which is a capsule pump formula. But slightly more exciting, they're also launching a new version of their pre-workout Unstoppable. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with Dedicated or even Unstoppable, the brand is widely available in the UK and Europe. It is also available in the US with a slightly different lineup. But basically, Unstoppable is the brand's pre-workout, and it essentially, every time it's launched a new version or had a new version launched, it's been a #1 rated product for us. The first version just killed it, and then when they relaunched it, it didn't taste as good, but it provided an all-new experience that was just like the original. It was pretty much best in its class. And so, based purely on that, we have really high hopes for the new version that's coming out this year. We don't know anything about the formula. We don't know anything about what kind of ingredients it's going to be using. But like I said, based on the brand's past, we're very confident that it's going to be a good one. And that's due to launch in within the next few weeks. And that's the same to be said for Epic and the new Vasogrow. Next up, we have actually a very unique pump formula, and this is from the company Nutristat. And basically, the guys announced this product a while back, but we really only got a good look at it this week. And that product is called PumpScript. Now, unlike most, like most pump formulas, it's designed to be used before you work out to enhance pumps, and it doesn't use any stimulants. Unlike most, though, this one actually comes in liquid form, kind of like your typical carnitine and stuff like that. It's just basically a liquid that you would pour into the cap to equal 1 serving, and take it just like you would the powder, throw it back, get better pumps. Now, there are an interesting mix of ingredients in this one, and so if you're a pump fan, I actually think it's going to be a very different experience, just purely because the ingredients in this, like I said, are not like anything else. So the 3 features they've thrown into this one is sea salt, which is something you see more of as for hydration benefits. The new S7, which is a branded blend of ingredients that we first heard about from Olympus Labs for its new pump pre-workout No Mercy. Nutristat will be using it also in PumpScript. But on top of the S7 and sea salt, they've also thrown in a massive 23-gram dose of glycerol. Glycerol being, of course, a very common pump ingredient, but typically you don't see it anywhere near 23 grams. In fact, I don't even know of a product where you'd get anywhere close to 10 grams. So this will be an interesting product. I'm certainly going to be getting it as soon as I can. But if you're a pump fan, I would say look out for this one. It's dropping in, I believe, in about two weeks or so. They said mid-February, so it's going to be here pretty soon. We will, of course, share updates and news, when you can get it available on our website. Moving from the pump category, we now go to a company that was actually launched a while ago. We haven't heard much from them in quite some time, but they've come back and they've essentially reimagined themselves, revamped their entire lineup, and the company is FitJoy. Now, FitJoy launched a number of years ago, very long time ago, and they had a few flavors added here and there, but for 2019, they've completely rebranded their bars, they've reformulated them, they've just done a whole bunch of things. Most of it seems to be, with the taste and texture, but it almost sounds like it's a completely new bar, but of course with the same old FitJoy feel. They have actually individually altered some of the flavors as well. For example, the cookies and cream, and apparently now has a fluffy cream layer as well as a sweet creamy drizzle across the top. Basically, you can find out more, and you can go grab any of them from FitJoy's website. That's also just been updated. But like I said, they've been launched a while ago, so it's nice to see the company come back, get a fresh new game going for 2019. And by the sounds of things, or I would suspect that we might actually see more of the company, because originally they did launch, and they added quite a few flavors back in the day. And so they were a company that they put a lot of attention, staying in our headlines and stuff like that. So it'll be cool to see what the brand does. But as per usual, you can go to our website and read all about everything the company's changed. Okay, moving on to our next story. We have Ronnie Coleman's Signature Series, who recently dropped details on its new protein snack it has coming out called King Cake. Here to talk a little bit more about it is actually the CEO from the brand, Brendan.
Hey, thanks for having me, Shane.
Yeah, so I mean, the product was previewed and unveiled a week ago, and then we sort of got details this past week. And I definitely think it's one of the standouts of the week by far, purely because it's not your typical protein bar, typical cookie. Do you mind explaining a little bit what King Cake from Ronnie Coleman actually is?
Sure. I mean, well, the first thing is going along with the convenience items and the trends. People are wanting to get healthier items and supplements in general at quicker and on the go. And so when you look at the category in its entirety, you have protein bars, you have protein shots, you have cookies, you have gummies, you have pizza doughs, you have all these different things. And when we're looking at introducing a new product, we're like, what do they lack? And one of the things that protein bars lack, owning obviously having our own, is freshness, and it's not steaming piping hot, and bars in general, specifically over time, the texture and the taste will change even throughout and before the expiration date. And so we're always kind of looking for new opportunities, and what we saw was that, wow, how cool would it be to be able to introduce something that is fresh, hot, there's a warmth to it, and that's easy to eat and also has a good profile. And so King Cake was our solution to it. And it's a pretty simple product that just requires about 1.5 ounces of water, a quick stir, and then 1 minute and 20 seconds in the microwave. And so after, a quick cook, you got a fresh, hot cake in your hands that's ready to eat. It's got 19 grams of protein. And that's something that, we knew we had to make it a convenience. I mean, you always have to have so many elements involved to have one of these products really be a winner. And what we're looking for is something that tastes great, something that can be cooked with little to no effort, and something that brings something new to the table, which is, a fresh, hot, delicious, snack.
Because I mean the macros I think are actually pretty impressive for how this thing tastes, because I tried this beta a few months ago, like last year. Was there like a twist for you? Like were you sort of like, were there's versions where it had not enough protein but it tasted really good, or it had too much and it didn't taste that great? Or how did you kind of decide to come on with the balance
Right.
that you got?
Yeah, some of the biggest changes were, working with the profile, right, and getting that to where you feel comfortable. And that included, we had to reduce, the use of egg yolks and go more towards an egg white, using coconut sugar versus regular cane sugar, using, all whey protein concentrate. We wanted to shift away from, any blended kinds of proteins and stuff like that. And so, we made those changes along the way, but the biggest change came, actually speaking with you, where the peanut butter version was pretty good, but it kind of maybe lacked that robust flavor, and so we added in chocolate chips, and so now the chocolate and the peanut butter both have nice chocolate morsels in there that will melt. So when you have it, when it comes straight out of the microwave, now you have like this gooey center with melted chocolate in there, and that was the last minute, that was like the last change from, our conversation when we talked about it. I was like, man, it's good, but there's something missing. That was a chocolate chip.
Oh wow, that's actually, that sounds, because I remember saying to you that I was like, if you could get some sort of melted chocolate or like a gooey thing in there, that would just go down incredibly. So that actually sounds like it's an
Yeah,
improvement.
I mean, if you put like one scoop of Halo Top on top of this thing, you have like a
Man.
protein packed, like about as healthy as it's gonna get, dessert. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So I mean, King Cake is dropping like within the next few weeks, from what I remember, but it's not the only product you guys have. You also have a fat burner coming, called Lightweight Baby, and the Test Booster King Test. Do you mind going a little bit more about those two as well?
Yeah, I always love naming products after Ronnie Sainz, because it's really, really just kind of unique to us, right? So in a game where everybody steals everybody's stuff, and we all, it's pretty cool to have to utilize some of his most famous things. And so, the Lightweight Baby will be a fat burner. We're gonna attack this thing from every angle, from water retention to thermogenesis to having energy and appetite control. And then we're also going to be simultaneously launching King Test, which, we have a pretty good test formula. We've had a good test formula. And a lot of times it's just tweaking, the base that you have and reintroducing new ingredients that are more innovative, and kind of replacing some maybe older ingredients, and bringing some new stuff that has better studies and stuff. So that's what King Test will be. And those will both be coming out by the end of Q3 at the same time.
Nice. So I mean, it sounds like you guys have action-packed year. Thank you for
Q1. Sorry, Q1.
Oh, for
Q1.
lightweight. Yep.
And,
No, okay, good. That's even better. So it'll be an action-packed first quarter. So hopefully we'll get you on later in the year when you got even more excitement to share. So thank you for coming on.
oh, you're very welcome.
From king cake to another product in the protein snack category, we actually just wrote about this brand for the first time this week. We had heard about them, we'd seen things, and we finally got around to sharing it. And it's a company called Viking Waffles. Now, if you're a protein snack fan, a functional food fan, this one sounds like a company you're gonna have to check out. We have yet to try it. I do plan on trying the products eventually. But it's essentially what it sounds like. Viking Waffles, they make high protein waffles, and these are pretty damn good, nutrition wise. The macros are, I would say they're better than a protein bar. For me, protein bars, they sit at around 20 grams per bar, and they have somewhere between 20 to 220 calories. Sorry, 200 to 220 calories. And the Viking waffles, they got the same 20 grams of protein. Well, actually, they have a little more. They have 21 grams per waffle, but the calories are significantly lower at 160. Made with all food ingredients, including eggs, casein, stuff like that. And you can order them straight from the site. They are a food product. It is a waffle, so you can't put it in your cupboard and just leave it to be fresh. You have to store them in the fridge where they last up to 10 days, and or you can put them in the freezer where they last up to 6 months. But yeah, basically it sounds like a very unique snack. Like I said, I haven't seen protein waffles on the market anywhere in the world. I've seen protein cookies, protein chips, protein Cheeto-like chips. We've even seen protein pancakes filled with a nice little creamy whey filling. But protein waffles is something I hadn't actually seen, at least sold in this style, with like just an individually wrapped packet. And you can buy them directly from the brand through their website. They're not too badly priced compared to a protein bar. Yeah, they're a little more expensive, but they can get as low as $4.48. When you buy I think it's like a case of like 25, which is more expensive than a bar, but it's not too bad. Like the dough bars, protein donuts, they're pretty much in the same ballpark. If I remember correctly, they're like 4 for $16 or something like that. And I have to, those are hands down worth every dollar you spend. So definitely check them out if you're a fan of different and creative protein snacks. Next on our list, we have probably one of the most exciting, I guess, supplements of the week. And we didn't really announce it this week, but we kind of got all the finer details. So this is with Performax Labs. So a number of months ago, Performax launched their new version of that pre-workout Hypermax. And it was insane. The product kills, it delivers just an incredible experience, pretty much every effect you could want. Energy, focus, pumps, performance, killer performance, I might add. And they announced not too long ago that they're coming out with an even better version, which when they said that, I was kind of taken back, because like I said, I didn't think you could get much better, but they said they pushed the envelope and they've put together a new product called Hypermax Extreme. This week, we actually got a look at the formula behind Hypermax Extreme, which is due to launch this coming Wednesday. And we'll also have our review out, as they were kind enough to send a kind of a beta tub to get a first look. Now, the formula is very similar to the previous version, just with the regular Hypermax, but they've essentially upped the stims. It's got a lot more caffeine at 400 milligrams per serving, or per maximum serving, which is 2 scoops. And there's a few other things that have been heightened, but they also threw in a new pump ingredient that wasn't in the previous version with Vaso 6. Now, like I said, the original was an incredible product, but the only thing I would have said it could have done better was, I guess, make the energy last a little longer and have a little better, much more in the pump department. Based on the formula, they actually seem to have done that and fixed, and at least not fixed, but just, pushed it that little bit further in the areas where, it wasn't as good. Based on what I've, done so far with the product, as we've definitely tried it multiple times, I'm going to save it for the review coming out later this week, but it's a number one contender. I'll say that. It is a incredibly powerful product. You can notice the effects or the tweaks that they've made to improve in areas that the regular Hypermax was falling a bit behind on. Next on the show, we have the protein snack company Proats, who for the new year has basically revamped its entire lineup of products, giving it a new look, as well as updated the formula behind its protein chips. It's also introduced a new flavor for its innovative and very enjoyable protein popcorn. Here to talk a little bit more about everything that the brand has done, as well as what's changed with its chips, is the CEO of Proats, Crick.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. So, we spent a lot of time reformulating the product line, including improving the chips to take it to the next level. We've been running the company for over 5 years now, and our new iteration of our chips have vastly improved taste, texture, mouthfeel, and the overall experience of the product is significantly better without sacrificing macros. We're still delivering 15 grams of protein. On top of that, we've also rebranded the entire line, where we are much brighter, lighter colors, really hammering home the protein. That's what we're all about. Although we are non-GMO, we are gluten-free, we're soy across both our chip and popcorn line. We wanted to really iterate and hammer home we're about protein, we're about snacking, fun, and mass availability. And the last thing we just launched, we're really excited about, is our light butter popcorn flavor, which is great for Netflix and chilling and whatever you want to do. We're really excited about all the changes. We're coming in 2019 really strong. Consumers are looking for, responded in a pretty strong way.
Yeah, so I mean, with the chips, like you guys were saying that you've done like quite a bit with the taste, the texture, and stuff like that. Was this something you guys were working on for like a while? Did you go through like several different versions?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were working on this for over a year. We were the first protein chip on the market over 5 years ago. The category didn't exist. Today, you can find products all over the world. There's 5 to 10 companies doing this category now. We built the category, we started it, and not only are we the first one in the market, we wanted to be category leader as we were for a long time, and we felt that we needed to improve. So the past year, working with various different manufacturers, we were running research and development projects constantly. And some manufacturers, we said, you're not hitting what we're looking for. We have to leave them. And we're pretty excited about the new group we're working with because we were able to achieve things that no one's been able to achieve, including ourselves. And we're launching it in the coming weeks. We're pre-selling it at eatproats.com right now. And we couldn't be more excited to hear what consumer feedback's going to be.
So did you guys like change the manufacturer, or is it just like so it's a whole bunch of new guys, or is it actually just an entirely different company?
We worked with a completely new factory, completely new manufacturing group. They're one of the oldest ones in America, quite honestly. And we also update our product lines itself, the ingredients. So we replaced our potato flakes with corn flour, and replaced our guar gum with the vegetable fiber to add a little bit more fiber to the product. And quite honestly, the new iteration and version of the chips taste exactly like a corn tortilla chip. That's what gets us so excited about it. I mean, you compare it to a Dorito. Like our nacho always has gotten compared to a Dorito. You put our new nacho next to a Dorito, they're almost like they're identical in a way. And we couldn't be more excited about it if we deliver 15 grams of protein.
Was there like a point where, like, because I asked this with a few snack brands, it's like, was there a point where, maybe you'd lower the protein a little more? Because I'm assuming that's kind of one of the things. The macros is what limits the nutritional profile being from like, tasting better or tasting possibly better. Was there ever a time you thought about lowering the protein or like making the macros not as friendly, or were you just, set on high protein and stuff like that?
So we wanted to stick to 15 gram protein. We thought about dropping down to 10 or playing around with, like, I've seen competitors do it where they increase the bag size to still hit that high protein number, although you have to eat more product to get that protein. We didn't want to be one of those kind of companies. We did add more fat to the product. There is a little bit more fat. We went from 4 grams to 6 grams of fat. And I think that definitely did help with the mouthfeel a bit. And I also just think that with the resurgence of fat being healthy, it's not a bad thing. When we started the company 5-6 years ago, fat was still an evil macronutrient. Today, with keto and new research and findings, it's not so bad. And our carbs are still relatively low.
Yeah, nice. So, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely. I'm definitely interested to try it because I remember back when I first tried them, you were pretty confident in them tasting great. And so I imagine now that the new version is probably going to be, even better than the original, which, like I said, I still liked it. I still definitely appreciated the flavor on that one, as well as the popcorn. So, hopefully get to try them in the near future. Thank you for coming on, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Great. Thanks for having me.
And that wraps up another episode of the Stack Podcast. Be sure to tune in again next week for the wrap-up of the week. We also plan on dropping more episodes during the week with details and interviews about other topics not related to the weekly wrap. But you can now subscribe to the podcast over on SoundCloud. It's on iTunes, Spotify. So, thank you.